This video examines the persistent issue of crime against women in India. Historically, women in ancient India held respected positions. However, social, political, and economic changes led to a decline in their status. Social evils, such as dowry deaths, child marriage, and domestic violence are rampant, and various forms of abuse have grown over the years. Crime against women refers to direct or indirect physical or mental cruelty. These crimes are specifically directed against women, who are the primary victims. Violence, often known as abuse, includes any form of physical aggression or misbehavior. Domestic violence occurs at home and can involve hitting, kicking, or throwing objects. In broader terms, crime against women includes threats, sexual and emotional abuse, controlling behavior, intimidation, stalking, economic deprivation, and serious criminal violence like rape, abduction, kidnapping, and murder. Social violence, such as eve-teasing or forced foeticide, also affects a large section of society. In 1993, the United Nations defined, quote, violence against women as any act of gender-based violence likely to result in physical, sexual, or psychological harm or suffering to women, including threats, coercion, or arbitrary deprivation of liberty, whether in public or private life. The Indian Constitution enshrines gender equality in its preamble, fundamental rights, and directive principles. The Constitution empowers the state to adopt measures of positive discrimination for women. India has also ratified international conventions to secure equal rights for women. Key constitutional provisions for women include Article 14, granting equal rights and opportunities, and Article 15, prohibiting discrimination based on religion, race, caste, or sex. Other articles ensure equality in employment opportunities, the right to a means of livelihood, equal pay for equal work, and provision for humane work conditions and maternity relief. Various legal provisions exist, such as the Factories Act of 1948, which limits women's work hours. The Maternity Benefit Act of 1961 provides 12 weeks of paid maternity leave. The Dowry Prohibition Act of 1961 criminalizes the demand for dowry. The Equal Remuneration Act of 1976 ensures equal wages and prohibits recruitment discrimination. Further acts include the Child Marriage Restraint Act of 1976, which raised the legal age of marriage for girls and boys. The Indian Penal Code sections 354 and 509 safeguard women's interests. Amendments to criminal law and the 73rd and 74th constitutional amendments reserve seats for women in local bodies. Other legal frameworks include the National Commission for Women Act of 1990 and the Protection of Human Rights Act of 1993. The Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act of 2005 defines domestic violence broadly, covering physical, sexual, emotional, verbal, psychological, and economic abuse. The Protection of Women Against Sexual Harassment at Workplace Bill of 2010 was introduced to protect women from sexual harassment in the workplace, including female clients, customers, students, and patients. The bill was passed in the Lok Sabha on September 3, 2012. Crimes specifically directed against women are categorized as crimes against women. New legislation and amendments have been introduced to handle these crimes effectively. They are broadly classified under the Indian Penal Code, IPC, and Special and Local Laws, SLL. The Indian Penal Code includes 7 crimes under this head, starting with rape, Section 376 IPC. Incidents of rape showed a mixed trend between 2008 and 2011, with overall increases. Madhya Pradesh reported the highest number of rape cases, accounting for 14.1% of the country's total. Mizoram reported the highest crime rate compared to the national average of 2.09. Maharashtra accounted for 15.3% of incest rape cases. Of all rape victims in the country, 10.6% were under 14 years old, 19.0% were aged 14 to 18, and 54.7% were women aged 18 to 30. 15.0% of victims were aged 30 to 50, and 0.6% were over 50. In 94.2% of cases, offenders were known to the victims. This included parents or close family members in 1.2% of cases, neighbors in 34.7%, and relatives in 6.9%. Kidnapping and abduction cases, under sections 363 to 373 IPC, increased by 19.4% compared to the previous year. Uttar Pradesh accounted for 21.2% of the total cases nationally, and Delhi reported the highest crime rate at 12.4. Dowry death cases, under Sections 302 and 304 BIPC, increased by 2.7% during 2011. Uttar Pradesh accounted for 26.9% of these cases. Torture or cruelty by husband and relatives cases increased by 5.4%, with 19.9% reported from West Bengal. Incidents of molestation, under Section 354 IPC, increased by 5.8% over the previous year. Madhya Pradesh reported the highest incidence, accounting for 15.5% of total cases. Kerala reported the highest crime rate at 11.2. Sexual harassment cases, under Section 509 IPC, decreased by 14.0% in 2011. Andhra Pradesh reported 42.7% of the total incidences, followed by Maharashtra at 12.5%. Sexual harassment remains a violation of the fundamental right to a safe work environment. Importation of girls cases, under Section 366 BIPC, increased by 122.2% in 2011. Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, and Karnataka together contributed more than 2/3 of the total cases nationally. The video now looks at crimes under special and local laws, or SLL, which include gender-specific laws. Cases under the Immoral Traffic Prevention Act of 1956 decreased by 2.6%. Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu reported the highest number of cases. Dowry Prohibition Act cases increased by 27.7% in 2011. Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka accounted for a large share of the cases. Odisha reported the highest crime rate under this act at 2.5. Cases under the Indecent Representation of Women Prohibition Act saw a decrease of 49.4%. Andhra Pradesh accounted for the majority of these cases, and the data shows a sharp decline over the years. One case was registered under the Sati Prevention Act of 1987 in Jammu and Kashmir in 2011. Overall, reported incidents of crime against women, under both IPC and SLL, increased by 7.1% in 2011, totaling 228,650 incidents. Reported incidents of crime against women have steadily increased from 2007 to 2011. West Bengal accounted for 12.7% of total crimes against women, followed by Andhra Pradesh at 12.4% in 2011. The national crime rate increased marginally to 18.9 in 2011. Tripura reported the highest crime rate against women at 37.0 compared to the national average. Crime against women in cities with a population over 10 lakh showed a higher crime rate of 21.0 compared to the national rate of 18.9. Delhi accounted for 13.3% of the total crimes in these 53 megacities. Cities like Vijayawada, Kota, and Kollam reported significantly higher crime rates. Delhi contributed significantly to cases of rape, kidnapping, dowry deaths, and molestation among the megacities. Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Mumbai, and Patna registered more cases under special and local laws. Mumbai reported a high percentage of cases under the Immoral Traffic Prevention Act and molestation. Bengaluru alone registered 70.7% of Dowry Prohibition Act cases. International initiatives to curb gender violence started with the UN Charter reaffirming faith in fundamental human rights and the equal rights of men and women. The Commission on the Status of Women was established in 1946 to address women's issues. Despite legal advances, considerable societal discrimination against women and girls persists, violating the principle of human rights equality. In response, the UN General Assembly adopted a declaration on the elimination of discrimination against women in 1967. This led to the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, CEDAW, often called an International Bill of Rights for Women. CEDAW laid down a comprehensive set of rights to which all persons, including women, are entitled. Further international awareness was boosted by UN-sponsored conferences in the International Women's Decade, 1976 to 1985, and the Fourth Conference in Beijing in 1995. The Beijing Conference declared women's rights are human rights. The Beijing Platform for Action addressed critical areas like poverty, economy, education, human rights, and the girl child. The World Summit outcome in 2005 reiterated the resolve to promote gender equality and eliminate pervasive gender discrimination. National initiatives in India to curb gender violence include the establishment of the National Commission for Women in 1992. This statutory body monitors constitutional and legal safeguards for women and suggests necessary legislative amendments. The 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Acts ensure 1/3 reservation for women in all elected offices in local self-government, in both rural and urban areas. The National Plan of Action for the Girl Child, 1991 to 2000, was developed to ensure the survival, protection, and development of girls. The National Policy for the Empowerment of Women, 2001, aimed for the advancement, development, and empowerment of women. The National Mission for Empowerment of Women, launched in 2010, coordinates government interventions and aligns future programs to realize the MPEW prescription. The Verma Committee Report, submitted in January 2013, recommended comprehensive changes in criminal laws to deal with crimes against women, including sexual offenses. The panel did not recommend the death penalty for rapists, suggesting rigorous imprisonment from 7 years to life. Gang rape should entail a punishment of not less than 20 years, extending to life imprisonment. The panel recommended stricter penalties for voyeurism, stalking, acid attacks, and trafficking. It emphasized mandatory registration of rape complaints by the police, with failure being a punishable offense. Protocols for professional medical examination of sexual assault victims were also suggested. All marriages should be mandatorily registered, ensuring consent and no demand for dowry. Amendments to the Code of Criminal Procedure were suggested to ensure full access to justice for women, recognizing the reality of sexual assault on men and the LGBTQIA+ community. Special procedures for persons with disabilities were deemed an urgent need. The report also recommended a separate Bill of Rights for women to ensure a life of dignity and security, including complete sexual autonomy. It also called for a review of the Armed Forces Special Powers Act to address impunity regarding sexual violence. Police reforms must ensure officers uphold the law and are accountable to it, not political interests. The judiciary should take suo motu cognizance of issues like gender violence and missing children. Political reforms were suggested to curb the criminalization of politics.